I've talked about rates, I've talked about throttle control, but there is one important part of FPV I've never really talked about, and that's tuning. I waited with this one for a reason. I wanted to actually understand it first, and the deeper I went, the more I realized tuning isn't just technical, it might also be personal. When I started flying FPV, tuning felt like something only the real pros cared about. Everyone had their own opinion, and honestly, I didn't know where to start. So I waited until I had some experience and I could actually feel what my quad was doing. And then I dove in. This video isn't a how-to, I just want to share the different ways how people tune their quads and what I've learned along the way. When you are new to FPV, tuning can sound like a dark art, but it's one of the biggest factors in how your quad feels in the air. It decides whether your quad feels locked in and smooth or loose and unpredictable. What is up, dude? Welcome to a brand new video. We are flying a new spot today, and it's actually not that I really found this recently because I walk my dog here on a regular basis, and it's actually pretty close to my usual spot. But last Sunday when I was here, my vlog-free session, and I was looking for a spot to hide for the wind because it was super windy. Basically just an empty plain field, and I had more fun than I thought I would have. So that's why I'm back here right now. At its core, PIDs simply control how your quad reacts to radio inputs, and they decide how fast your movement starts and how much it's dampened at the end. You want to find the balance where your quad reacts quickly but doesn't overshoot or bounce back. That's basically what tuning really is, finding that sweet spot between control and stability. So now let's talk about the 3 most common methods to tune your quad. The first and by far easiest method is the preset. Someone else has already done the hard work. You just load a tune that matches your setup, like a 5-inch freestyle or a cinematic preset, and you're ready to go. These days presets are really solid. They'll probably get you like 80% the way there. But remember, presets are built for a wide range of quads, different props, frames, weights, so while they fly great, you won't get the absolute maximum performance your own setup is capable of. Although it's pretty hard to find the lines in this field, if there are any lines at all, it is pretty fun to fly here. The only downside is the harsh lightning conditions. The main downside of the spot is that there are quite some people walking around here, mainly with dogs, and there are actually 1, 2, 3, 4 places where people can enter this field, and you only spot them at the last moment, like right now. And then there is the second method, which is called Blackbox tuning. With a flight controller that logs your data, you can record your flights and use software like PID-Toolbox to see exactly how your quad behaves. That data helps to find the most accurate PID balance possible. It's a bit of work, but you get very precise feedback. So that's the main reason why I fly that one spot every freaking time, because it only happens like 2 times a year that someone walks there with their dog. And I'm flying with some pretty janky ass props because I ordered my new props way too late, so I'm still waiting for them to arrive. So I had to grab my lost props bucket, and I grabbed some flyable props. But I think I found a tune that works with janky props. I'm not really someone that changes props like every crash, so I had to find a tune that's tight but not too tight, and I think I found the right one. And then there is the last method, and the most confusing one for me, and that's tuning by feel. You don't use software or logs at all, but you rely on what you feel and what you see through the goggles and HD footage. You're not chasing perfect numbers, you're chasing the perfect response. You trade technical perfection for a more aggressive, more alive flying feel. Blackbird FPV describes this approach as overtuning. Instead of basing your PID balance on fly data from a log file, you base it entirely on how the quad reacts in the air, how it looks, how it sounds, how it feels, and because of that you often end up pushing your PIDs past what would technically be the perfect balance. And that's when it became a bit confusing for me, because how is it possible that the quad doesn't show overshoot even though you went beyond the ideal balance? Well, it turns out the bounce back is probably still there, it just happens so fast that it's not visible for the human eye. So you get that extra kick and precision without visible downsides. That's the magic of what Blackbird calls overtuning. It's not about what the data says, it's about what you feel when you fly. Last weekend we transitioned to winter time. Is that what's also called in English? Daylight saving time. Well, whatever. Anyway, that means it will be dark by, let's see, 5:19. So I don't think I will make it to the end of my power station today. What I like the most about this spot is that I'm forced to do all kinds of open field stuff, because on my other spot I tend to lean on the trees a bit too much, literally and figuratively speaking. And what I also like is this branch that is hanging over. Now I want to practice some stalls on it, going up and then just stop before I hit it. First I want to do at least 4-6 more packs. So which one of those methods is the best? I think it depends. If you're flying a super heavy rig with expensive camera on top, you probably want to try the safe, data-driven Blackbox tune. But if you're flying freestyle 5-inch like me, it's definitely worth experimenting with feel. I personally started with a super solid Blackbox tune and then slowly made changes to match how I want the quad to respond. There is no single perfect tune, only the one that feels right for the way you fly. And I'm not an expert and I'm still learning, but hopefully this helps you figure out which approach fits your style. Think about the kind of flying you love, pick the advice that resonates, and don't be afraid to learn from others. Every tuner I've talked to taught me something new. That's what makes this hobby so special. Maybe the real goal of tuning isn't perfection, it's connection.
Sweet.